Hello everyone, it's me, Phoenix the Insane Gentleman Gamer. A quick video for you today. Basically just showcasing that 1, I don't always show good games, and 2, how fun scouts can be even when your teams kind of suck. So I'm here on, I think it's Windstorm in the LTTB. I decided to go north because, honestly, there's not really much other places the scouts can go. You can either go the little middle road, crossing that ridge, but that's better for hull-down tanks, or you can go to the city, and light tanks do not belong in the city. I don't care who you are, I don't care what you tell me. The city is for heavies and mediums with good armor, because that's side-scraping and peekabooing all around the place. So I decided to head north up to the spot that I normally like to go to, which is this little hill up here. And basically see if I can spot any of the enemies as they try and rush up to the north. So I get up here, crest the ridge, nobody's here. Oh, shite, there's another LTTB. Now, the thing about the LTTB is it has no gun depression. It's like 3 degrees, and I'm taking crossfire from the side, so I decided to back up a little more and kind of reassess my priorities here. So basically, the enemy LTTB and I are kind of just staring at each other, menacingly, because we can't get our guns down to shoot each other without exposing basically the rest of the tank. So in that case, we're just kind of sitting here. He's disappeared, but I know he's still there. There's one tank down south down south a little bit that my friends are engaging. There's the LTTB, and then there's 2 tanks to the side. You can see them there that are basically putting in crossfire on me, and I'm popping out. I'm getting snapshots on them. They're both focused on me. You can see the shots. I just took a hit from the Pershing here, and I think it's the T-69 as well, fired at me. So I'm just kind of jogging, peekabooing here, basically playing a bit more of a medium role in this light tank, but this light tank, ricocheted Pershing, I don't know how. This is a light tank that basically has a good enough gun and the speed and, yes, some armor in order to actually play kind of like a medium tank if needed, which is what I'm doing here, because the rest of my team is, pretty much dealing with the threats in the south, so I feel like I'm safe here and I can take some pot shots at these enemies. Now, while this is going on, I guess I can tell you a bit about the LTTB. Just got tracked there because I almost overcommitted. But basically, the LTTB is, if any of you remember the T-50-2, that tank was a tiny terror. It was basically a rocket-powered sled with a 57mm gun that was painful to anybody on the receiving end of it. This is basically a revamped Tier 7 version of that T-50-2. And everyone whined about when, oh no, they took it away and they gave us the MT-25. No, the MT-25 is fun. They gave it a few buffs. It's basically the anti-scout. If you're in an MT-25, you don't scout. You go after enemy scouts. And see, okay, right here, I'm trying to poke on this. I believe it's an FCM. I can't really see it on the screen right this moment. Trying to poke on him, but the gun depression isn't working, so I decided to shoot at the T-69 while he's exposed, back up, and go back onto the hill. But anyway, the LTTB, it's, I think, got one of the best horsepower to ton ratios of any of the light tanks in the game. And it's got a very punchy 85mm gun. It's got about, I think, 170 degrees of penetration? Millimeters of penetration. You know what I mean. And so it can, really lay down the hurt on some unsuspecting enemies, and it's got a quick fire rate as well. So I managed to take out the FCM-50T. I see the LTTB coming back up on me to, come and get me. And so I was going to initially run away because the Type 59 looked like he needed some help because enemies are starting to flank. Now, this is kind of where you can see the team is starting to go downhill. And so I was going to lure the LTT back so the Type 59 and I could both shoot at him while he was on top of the ridge, but he, is smart and stays up there. So I decide, well, heck, I'm going to take the fight to him and go ahead and push around. Now, there he is. I, still being cautious because I'm not sure if there's a crossfire. It doesn't look like it, so I back up, try to get him to come back. I'm basically still trying to bait him at this point. And swing around, nobody's over there, so turn around and head back up on the hill a third time. Very repetitive gameplay, see, but basically this is how I scout, because there's 2 ways of scouting. There's passive scouting, which is sit in a bush and do nothing, and then there's active scouting, which is to basically rush forward and, try and spot as many enemies and dodge as many shots as you can. So here I go, pushing on the LTTB, he hits me, he tracks me, but I shoot him twice. and he is now dead. I fixed tracks, and off I go into the wild blue yonder. Or not, I just basically drift around the corner. See, this replay was recorded a while back, so I've kind of forgotten exactly my thought process at the time, but the Type 59, I still didn't know if he needed help, so I decided to come back around and maybe help him, but the enemies he was going to face kind of disappeared, so I decided, screw it, I'm gonna go hunt down the artillery. Now, because this thing is like the T-50-2, it is also a rocket-powered sled, and it has a maximum speed, I think, of 68 kilometers an hour. So, it's fast, it's got a punchy gun, with a good reload time, and it's skinny, I guess is what you would say. So, oh crap, there's an artillery, get around him, okay. Safely around him, don't know where the other one is, but he just took a pot shot, I think at me. If that was a shot at me, RNG kind of, messed him up there. And there's the other artillery, so I decided, okay, shooting at him, but he's behind cover. So I took out one artillery, I'm going after the other one. I'm not sure if I managed to get a hit there, but he backs up behind the ridge, and so this is where things get interesting, because, well, one, you can see our team is kind of failing, so it's me and two others left, and two, he can be facing one of two ways, so there's a 50% chance, and he's facing the other way, so I get up, and I take a pot shot at him, but I miss because my gun decides to go over the tank. Remember what I said about gun depression, so he decides to come after me, but I work the ridge line, and I keep myself just barely out of reach of his gun, and I just keep putting shot after shot into him. This is what the RPM, rounds per minute, of the gun does. It basically allows this gun to, make quick work of either enemy scouts or enemy artillery, which, like I said, and the LTTB and, its successor, the T-54 Lightweight, both do this. They're basically made for hunting down enemy scouts and taking care of them quickly, whether by ramming them, as in the MT-25's case, or just by, decent armoring and gun power, in, like, the T-54 and LTTB's case. So, the Type 59 is getting surrounded, he is probably about to go down, and there he goes, so it's just me left. And I've had a stellar game, and I really hope that we don't lose this one, so in the last-ditch attempt to win, I decided to go hide behind this rock, try and cap. And, well, it seems to be going okay, but they've got quite a few heavy-powered tanks, and I'm basically one shot for anybody. So I know they don't have the fastest of tanks, but I'm pretty sure, and I'm hoping, I'm gambling at this, that I'll be able to spot any enemy tanks that show up to shoot me before they can actually shoot me. And I'm not spotting anybody, so I am starting to get worried. The cap counter is counting up. It's, starting to think there might be a chance. Oh, hopefully I'll see them before they can shoot me. And just when you thought it was safe that you could hide behind the rock, then this happens. Yep. They could see me, I couldn't see them. But, whatever, it was a good game. Sadly, a defeat, still third-class mastery badge, top on team and experience, and made a little profit out of that. Did 2,000 damage. And then there's this game. It's basically, this is the other replay I was going to show you guys today, and it's basically a favorite pastime, and stress reliever of myself and Dragoon, and sometimes Blue when they decide to show up. To hop in PZ-1Cs and try and go troll around with the hilarious little cannons that these things have. Well, not even cannons, they're machine guns. But usually MM and Fortune do not smile upon us and we end up in Tier 5 matches. So this was the result, as we are sadly used to. And so we decided to go ahead and just go for a very forward scouting position, just to see if we can get some spots and maybe some damage on unsuspecting enemies. And we kind of do. Just got shot in the face by Dragoon a little bit there. We find an M3 Stuart that we kind of light up, and we get to a very forward spotting position down here on the island, and, hopefully pull up and cover behind these rocks so we don't get immediately just shot to hell. And so, the dance of the PZ-1Cs begins. Basically, darting out in between the rocks, trying to see if you can spot anything, knowing that you're probably not going to be able to hurt anything that's tier 4 or above unless it has very weak armor, and in general just trying not to get shot. And so, oh look, there's a tank, I can shoot him, do some damage to him, he manages to pull back. if you can see, there's a KV-1. If you could see, there was a KV-1. Guess what I didn't see? The KV-1. He has the derp mounted, the 122 U-11 howitzer, so he basically one-shot me. Now I'm dead, and our team is currently in the lead, but that's not going to last. The KV-1 comes around. Actually, this is a different KV-1. This KV-1 has the 105 equipped, I think. Or either the 105 or the 85. I can't remember which it is. The, DPM gun on the KV-1. So, Dragoon basically gets, run down by the KV-1s and toasted. And so, it's just blue left in our platoon, and our team is starting to lose because we have sent nobody hill, and everyone is camping that little ridge that artillery and snipers usually hang about, and we're just, basically, World of Tanks puppies, in a nutshell. So we're 4-5, and everyone is clustered into less than a quarter of the map. I'm basically raging in TeamSpeak at the moment, because, we have TeamSpeak going, usually when Dragoon and I are platooned. But, basically, Blue decides, heck with this, and stays up on the ridgeline behind a bush, trying to hopefully spot any enemies that are going to be coming from the 7-8 line area. So, I'm going to pull it back here and speed up time a little bit, because nothing really happens. We kill a guy, and basically everyone just camps, and nothing happens, until suddenly, a wild BT-7 artillery appears, and takes a pot shot at Blue, but managed to not hit Blue. Yay! So Blue takes some shots at the BT-7 artillery, and in TeamSpeak we're egging him on, like, hey, go, get some glory, get the one kill out of the platoon. It's 5-10, we know the team is basically not going to win, enemies are surrounding us, cutting us off, there's nowhere else to run, we're all stuck on the ridgeline anyways. So, Blue, trying to decide, should I go for the artillery, or should I stay up here and try and shoot? Finally takes our advice, or egging, and drives off the ridge a little bit, manages to do it the right way, drive down, and goes after the BT-7 artillery, manages to soak a shot, takes a couple more shots, kills the BT-7, and suddenly gets killed. So, we're 6-14, and the Covenanter, added bonus there, the Covenanter drives off the cliff and dies of falling damage somehow. So, that was that game. Also a defeat, basically more for the lols than the actual replay value. So, that's today's compilation. Take care, stay true to yourselves.